Hi guys, Amy Starr Allen here. I'm here today with my dear friend and business partner Chris Rocheleau, and we're just going to I just wanted to have a conversation with Chris today about, we're really excited, the Epic Story Academy, first ever, is happening next week. And I know that as we've been approaching this event, I've been just getting very emotional as I get present to the transformation that I know is going to happen next week at this event. And I know that because I know Chris. I know Chris really well. Actually, Chris is one of my, like I said, he's a dear friend and business partner of mine, but he's also been a mentor to me. He's really taught me everything that I know about how to tell my story and really be authentic and vulnerable and get myself out there with my marketing. And it's because of what he's taught me that I've been able to have the level of success that I've been able to have. If you are somebody that was at, we had a big event in Orlando back in October where I got to speak on stage for the first time, and Chris actually, I've gotten so much feedback about that talk and how transformational it was for people. And I just want to credit Chris for that as well, because he really helped me. There were things about my story that I was going to leave out that he encouraged me not to, because of the way that it would allow me to connect with people, and that's exactly what happened. And so Chris is just like the best that I know of in the industry, or in the world as far as I know of, at teaching people how to really connect with their authentic self and tell their story, and be a conscious marketer. And his commitment, as well as mine, is to taking this industry to a new level and creating a new movement in the way that we market, that we do it consciously and with awareness. And so I'm just really, really excited about this event next week. So hey Chris, how are you today?
I am good. It's a Friday afternoon, and we are steady working away at putting the finishing touches on the event. And it's awesome to be here with you. And it's always fun. It's like I've said before, a lot of this stuff I wouldn't do without you, just because there's something to be said about someone who has a similar vision, and then also has the aspiration to want to know this industry to the depths that you do, and to understand what shifts this industry in a way that most people have never been exposed to, or tend to think at times is too altruistic. Funny enough, that's been our reality, and that's where we've operated, and that's the only place we've come from, which is a place of total authenticity, total real, just authentic, and trust-based marketing, vision-based marketing, not schemy, scammy, hypey stuff like that at all. And so that's what a lot of this whole thing is about with Epic Story and Epic Story Academy is, it really comes down to the core of a few things, and those core few things really are just, a lot of people come into this industry and look at this and go, okay, well, tell me what to do, and then tell me what to say to get people to buy and join me. And what they haven't yet come to the realization of, what I like to call the epic realization, is the I guess it would call really the magic in between, and the magic dust, I guess you would say, that you sprinkle along, where you come from the heart, and you understand why you're doing this, you understand your purpose, your passion, your aspiration, and the people that you're involved with in this business, and coming from a place of distinction, coming from a place of taking things to the next level, and from a place of unique value and unique perspective. And when you have those things, it all of a sudden becomes pointless to attempt to be a copycat, to where someone says, hey, I have the secret, copy this, go do this, and it's going to make you money. And the reality is that only works, if it does, which most of the time it does not, that only works very small percentage of the time, and it never lasts. And personally for me, I got in this business because I wanted to create an income that lasted passively, residually, that I could leverage and build upon and create real wealth, that I wasn't having to recreate and start over every 3 months. And so we've learned how to successfully do that. And, for a lot of you here listening right now, a lot of you who may be following Amy, you already know that, Amy follows that same path and has been there right there with me, helping me figure this stuff out, learn this stuff, and implement this into our business and our teams to a point where we've proven this. So it's no longer, theory, or it's no longer, oh, well, that sounds great and sounds nice, but give me the secrets, because the secret is there is no secret. And the cool part that what we teach is showing people that your unique perspective is the greatest asset that you actually have, which is you start with telling your story. And a lot of people, first thought is always, well, your story is going to be, my story's boring, or my story doesn't have a success, or my story doesn't have results yet, or my story is nothing spectacular, my story's boring, there's nothing to me, things like that. People downplay themselves. And, from a certain perspective, it is. It can be. But that means that's only from your perspective. And if you are looking at your story right now and thinking it's boring, or thinking it's uninspiring, or thinking that it has no value to bring to anybody, then what that really means is that you are not really honoring yourself and learning from your experiences. And when we teach people how to take a look at their story from a different perspective, what they find every single time is that they have a whole message in there that is unique to them, that actually works for their marketing, that their story positioning, when drawn out tactically, can be used very well for their marketing. And in fact, that particular hack, structure, outline, all that stuff we teach, and I've used that to make multiple six figures. Amy's made, right at that point, I think, crossing over multiple six figures in her primary company, but has definitely made multiple six figures in the industry, and from, the core of this stuff. And so it's not really necessarily my story is boring, but it's so much more than just your story. It's also how you tell the story, your perspective of it, which is the real skill. I can take any story and take what people look at as a boring story and actually make it very compelling and teach a lesson from it, and even sell from it, from just about anything. And that's actually what we teach people how to do, so that you can do the same thing with yourself and everybody else's stories, and be able to tell those stories as well, which is even easier. And people try to make it about themselves, which, my message really is that, the message I bring is not me. I'm not the message. I'm the messenger. And I bring my experience and perspective of what I've went through only to show and display and teach what I have and what I've done. Not to say, hey, look at me, so I'm so great, but hey, look at what I've been through, look what I've learned. Here, you can do this too. And here's my realization. And this realization helped me build this business. This can do the same for you. And so, in a nutshell, essentially, a lot of people get into this industry going, well, just teach me the stuff that just gets people to buy stuff. And it's such a short-sighted approach that it never lasts. And then you have the person who, because of not seeing that last, they get disenchanted, they get disheartened with the industry, and they get disheartened with people, and they get apathetic, and they stop believing in people. And when they stop believing in people, they start acting accordingly. And what I mean by acting accordingly is, when they stop believing in people, they start treating them like numbers. They start treating them like they're not deserving of the things that they have, or not deserving of more, or attempting to lift them up. And then they make it about themselves and their ego. It's that trap of falling into the ego, making it about themselves and not about others. And a real leader is about lifting up others. And you see at Epic Story Academy, we actually structure and show all of that as to how that plays out, and how to avoid those pitfalls and those traps, and how to create a real business that lasts for you. So in essence, that's really what we've been doing with all of this. And maybe we might have jumped ahead a little bit in what we're talking about here, but I wanted to just kind of display in a nutshell, kind of in the core essence of what that's all about and why this is differently, and the tactical and how that's all laid out, and the processes and the techniques and all those things are what actually happen in the curriculums. So yeah, back on over to you, Amy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, what's so cool about what you teach, Chris, is, you know, again, it's not about how showing people how to get a quick sale, because anybody can do that with copying and pasting other people's stuff, and like you said, it's not the bottom line of what really matters if people really want to create a sustainable business. It's about developing an entourage, right? People that are loyal, loyal followers. I mean, this event is a perfect example of that. There's people that are coming to this event that were at the last time we had an event. They were there too. Like, they're there every time we do anything, right? Like, they're just loyal. We have a loyal following of people that have stuck with us over the last 3 years that we've been building a business together. I mean, that's what happens when you learn how to market this way, because you connect with people on a much deeper level. You actually connect with people, period, but you connect on a very deep level. So, you know, it's super, super powerful. And one of the things that I think people are going to be just really in for such an amazing treat at this event is I've seen Chris in action. I know how quick he is on his feet when somebody can literally, like, say, okay, here's my story, and in an instant, he can just completely, like, break it down, move pieces around, explain what needs to happen to make it, you know, really powerful and really deliverable. I don't even know if that's a word, but so that somebody could actually take that, walk away with that, and go start using it in their marketing. And I've seen him do this on numerous occasions without knowing the person, without knowing anything about their story. And so I know that, you know, people are going to get to see what, you know, really, you know, a lot of people that are coming to the event have been through your Epic Story Funnel training. I know that. And that training is so in-depth and so awesome. And, you know, the event will be awesome because people will get to see live examples of your expertise and some of the stuff that you've done in your own marketing. And I'm really excited for people to be able to experience that.
Well, thank you. And I think that, you know, really there's, you know, a lot of people listening to what you're just saying will oftentimes go, man, there's got to be like these amazing, incredible, you know, techniques that barely anyone understands or knows, that no one else is teaching, these secrets. And yes, there's some of that. However, there's also a perspective coming here that once you really get that perspective, that's the core essence of the message. And just seeing how that's going to lay out and manifest at the event is going to be a proof validator of what we've been doing and how that really works in motion. And what I'm really getting at is I took a look around at the whole marketing industry and info marketing, you know, network marketing, the whole thing, affiliate marketing, corporate marketing. And I looked at the whole thing and I was like, all right, who are the big players? Who is moving and shaking? And I identified certain people that were, and people that were kind of like on the rise and then fizzled out. And, you know, ones we were like, where are they today? You know, what happened? And then the ones that just took off and are essentially at the top of the industry now. And I looked at that, and it's funny because so I've watched others with, you know, higher IQs than me break down what it is that they do and say, well, this has got to be the reason for their success. It's got to be this tactic. It's got to be this promotion formula. It's got to be these two things that they do in their 12-point checklist of selling something, you know. And it's so funny because what I've noticed is you can geek out on all these things, which we totally have, and you're going to get that at Epic Academy. But also, the part about it that most people don't get is the place that you're coming from. And what I mean by that is the place I'm coming from helps me to learn and make decisions and operate from a different place that makes it easier to rally a crowd, rally a team, rally people to your vision and your message, and keep them around and keep them coming back, like you even said, Amy, with, you know, people who are still coming back and have come every time and are going to come every time and will stick around. And you know what that means? You know what that spells is residual passive income, and that's income that's for the long haul, right? So the whole, crux of it can be explained a lot of different ways. We go over value sets, and people just are like, oh my God, that's so transformational. And it's true, it really is when you haven't been exposed to that before. Once you get exposed to that and you start operating differently and realizing, wow, this is why all the conflict in the world, this is why people have their own internal conflicts, this is why people say one thing and then can't follow through with it, or this is why someone says something and because of that value set with that person, that's actually going to happen. So it's cool to watch, and so it's like the whole universe opens up when you come to Epic Story Academy, and a whole new perspective of where you're coming from. And for me personally, I'll just say it, that I come from a place of service and a place from the heart, which a lot of people are afraid to, and they don't believe in people enough to open up and speak, teach, and operate from their heart. And being able to operate from that, some people in the traditional business world look at that and go, well, that could be weakness. And I don't see it that way, because I've created my whole world around that, where isn't it cool that I don't have to be fake to do this business? Isn't it cool that I don't have to toe a party line or worry about what people think about me in order to survive in this business? That's the game that people play in the corporate world, and in most worlds is that. And coming from a place of scarcity and fear of loss, and that they have to do whatever they can to keep their power, especially big C-level executives, right? And so none of that's necessary here. How refreshing is it that I can wake up every day and my fuel and energy comes from my passion and purpose of being able to share a message of authenticity and to be able to be yourself. And let's give you the tactical and the techniques on how you can actually do that without having to fake it, and make that even work for you, and work so well that, based on who you are and what you do and what your passion and purpose is, the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So, so just so people can get a broader idea of what's actually happening, the Epic Story Academy is happening next week. It's Saturday and Sunday. Friday's the VIP day, right? One of the VIP sessions is Friday, which will be a hike. Is that right? And so there's still time. How many people are we currently expecting, Chris?
So right now we're just under 50, and we're capping it off at 50. So we've got just a couple slots left, and I'm going to send an email here soon as well, and do a few promotions here over the weekend, last little bit before we probably cut it off beginning of next week or so. We may extend it till the middle of the week if people want to jump on, but that's a couple of different things involved. So one thing is, we've got this whole curriculum called the Epic Story Funnel. And this curriculum is essentially how to tell your story, which is just the glue that holds everything together in every way. That story positioning is so important. It makes all the difference in the conversions and numbers, how to sell, everything, right? It's the core of it. And so from around that, we build everything around that as well in the curriculum, showing you what to do before your story in your marketing, what to do after your story in your marketing, at what point you send them to your core offer, what the bridge is, and what your follow-up sequences are, and how to remarket and all that stuff. So all that's in there, and someone can take that home study course and literally go through it and break it down and take all their notes and implement step by step with checklists how to do that stuff. Because we give you all the checklists, like, look, here's the 6 things that your bridge needs to accomplish. Now, someone who wants to go and take that and think it through for themselves, it can literally go, the smart ones can go and create all of that for themselves, just from that stuff. Yet at Epic Story Academy, which is the live event, which is the deep dive to Epic Story Funnel, is where I actually open up my trade secrets and show you, okay, now here's maybe that 6-point checklist for the bridge. And let me show you my bridges. Let me show you exactly what I've done. Let's walk through them. And I'll go even deeper into some of the psychology of it and why it works so well and why it's congruent with me and how easy you can create that for yourself. And now do it. And we'll do it with you. And so we do that with every aspect of your marketing, including getting down to the tactical in getting traffic. And some of the cool blogging training that Amy, you yourself are going to be showing and teaching there as well, that ties in with all this stuff, because as we know, blogging is such a huge thing that can be your central hub, your central nerve of your whole business, and you want to be able to have that. So a blog and a story are like, you have those two things, you know, the only other thing you really need is a laptop, you know. And so the Epic Story Academy is just the deep dive. Now the cool thing is we've got about a week. And for those who are the movers and shakers, for those who are the accelerators, the people that don't waste any time, that don't like to waste time, that want to get right to the point with things and knock things out and be the producers, right? The ones that are like, I don't have any time to waste. Those people, you still have time right now to get the Epic Story funnel and the Academy right now. And the cool part is you can get it for cheaper than what it's going to be in about a week when we cut that off, for sure. And so what you'll see here is what we're offering at the moment is the Epic Story funnel is a $500 product. It's $497. And you can get that just by it yourself and go through that if you like. But the other part is you pay the $500 upgrade, and that gets you a seat at the live event in Colorado at the Omni Interlaken Hotel, just outside of Boulder, Colorado. And there's a cool reason why we do it there, and we're gonna show you guys that when you're there. We'll actually illustrate that, and you're gonna love that. But we've also done another event there before, which was this same curriculum, but it wasn't as deep dive, and you know, people paid $3,000 for that. And people said they would have paid 3 to 5 times what they paid.
Everybody said that.
Everybody said that. You can see the testimonials on that. It's crazy, right? Now, that same curriculum, 10 times deeper and more expanded, and a full all-encompassing picture of it is what's being finished and the bow ties being put on at Epic Story Academy. So for right now, $997 gets you all of that. And then this event passes, and the Epic Story funnel itself is going to at least $700. We may put it at $1,000 depending on the what we add to it. And so right now is your best chance. Even if you just want to dip your toe in the water and get just the Epic Story funnel and find out what it's really about. But go through it quickly so you can make your decision if you want to join us there at Epic Story Academy. So those are the two options we have for you. You can get the Epic Story Academy just by itself, home study course now for $497. With that, you can upgrade for an extra $500, which you'd have to send an extra email into support@epicstoryfunnel.com, and we'll be able to get you that link. So also you can get a hold of Amy as well, and she'll be able to get you that info as well.
1 week from today is when the price is going up on the Academy.
Yes.
On the funnel.
Yes.
Okay.
So the week counting down. Because this time next week on Friday, we literally at this moment we would be traveling from our hike that we did with the VIPs. Because there is a VIP upgrade section, which we actually only have 2 more slots for that, and then we're totally closed off. There's like 3 or 4 left for the main event, but only 2 left, and we're totally locked off for VIP. And what VIP actually gets is we get a Friday day as well, where we go on a hike, and then we do a dinner. We take you to a special place in Boulder, downtown Boulder, for a dinner, and then we even do a special Q&A session. Group coaching session after dinner back at the hotel. We have a special room for that. They're closing the doors. It's just us, and it's about right now there's about 6 mentors and trainers and about 6 people that are going to be there. Very intimate, and you're going to have all the FaceTime that you want with the trainers, including myself and Amy, a few others, Avram and Nikki. And so we'll have some trainers there for you that you'll be able to ask all the questions you want with and get that FaceTime. And the cool part is, also, in addition to that, for VIP, you get to sit in the front row with the leaders and the trainers for the remainder of the event, for the Saturday and Sunday day schedule, as well as a final wrap-up Q&A session at the end of the day on Sunday for VIPs only. That it's just that small group again, where okay, now you've gone through everything, now you got it all there, now you got all of this stuff. Now we take another hour and a half, and anything to dial that in personally for you, if you really want to get serious about this stuff and just literally take this all and put it right into what you can actionably put together at that moment and take action on and go and use in your marketing, literally walking out of there that next moment, then you want to upgrade to VIP, and all you have to do is let Amy know or send an email once you buy the Epic Story Funnel and buy the Academy. send an email to support@epicstoryfunnel.com and let us know that you want to be a part of VIP. And if we have any room left, we'll send you that special link and everything. And then you want to be able to fly in probably Thursday night, because we start all of this at noon on Friday, and we take a long hike where it's with all the trainers and the leaders, and you get to have FaceTime, and we just have conversations. And we have a cool personal development circle that we do at the top of the hill that we hike to. And don't worry, it's not a crazy hike that you can't keep up. We had 30 people go on it last time, and we had no problem getting it there. It's a mild hike. It's a great time, and amazing views, and some of the most amazing rock formations ever, where there's actually chairs made out of rocks. Some of you have seen the videos. So yeah, that's what we have for you is really 3 options where you can get the home study course, Epic Story Funnel, which for some of you may be the only option at this point, and that's totally fine. But then and you want to get that within the next week, the price goes up. Then you have the $500 upgrade to the Epic Story Academy, so you get both. That way you can take the Epic Story Funnel curriculum and apply it at Epic Story Academy and go deeper. And if you really want to get to where you get everything just taken care of there, then you go ahead and upgrade to VIP. So, and you can always find out about those details on the inside as well. So, yeah, that's about what we have, just to lay it out for everyone. That's what we got.
Yeah, and just to say one tidbit about the hike, when we did it last time, we did that on the first day, and these people paid $3,000, all of them, to be at that event, and the hike was the first day of the event before we went into the training. And after that hike, everybody said, I could go home right now and feel like I got my money's worth. People's lives were changed that day with the, just being together on that hike and having the opportunity to have these intimate conversations with each other. But then also the session that we do at the top, Chris was talking about these rock formations. There's like chairs and couches that are made out of the rocks that have fallen down from the top of the mountain that people have put together. And anyway, we have a really cool session up there where people's lives were transformed. So it's a really good time. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on for too much longer about this, but I am curious, Chris, as we, I know for myself, knowing that the event is a week away, and I can hardly believe it, and so excited about it. And like I said, I've been getting emotional when I get present to, like, because I know what happened last time and how transformational it was, not just for myself, but for everybody. Seeing how what a deep level people's lives were changed from that, and it's not just because of the training, but because of the intimacy of the event and the conversations and the relationships that were formed. I mean, there's something about that cannot be replaced by a home study course or a live hangout or anything. And so when I get really present to, I remember at the end of that event, I posted. I think a picture or a video I posted on Facebook with a summary for myself. Like, I felt like the biggest thing that I was present to at the end of that event was love, and that post got hundreds of comments and all these testimonials people were putting on there and how transformational it was. So knowing that this is coming up in a week, I'm just wondering, what are you present to right now?
Are you saying me personally?
Yeah, you.
I didn't know if you were asking.
Yeah. No, I'm asking you, Chris. Being, especially because this is even, it's a different thing. This is kind of this is the first Epic Story Academy ever. So I'm just curious, like, how you feel and what's on your mind and what you're present to.
What I'm really present to is simply this. We haven't seen anything like this come along in this industry. And to me, call it crazy, call it insane, call it whatever you want. All I know is what I call it is working. And it is a better way, and it is a message that is long overdue, and from everybody I talk to, the most refreshing message that they've had inside of this industry. Because you see, we're in an industry where the opportunistic mindset is the purveying one. And because of that, you have people who make a lot of decisions out of desperation, and are willing to do whatever they can, including be as dishonest and unethical and lie about whatever they can, to do this and to promise the world and not deliver, and create a lot of mistrust and be more a part of the problem in this industry than the solution. And the second part of that is old, outdated methods. The traditional way, a lot of people, if they understand marketing, the traditional copywriting that people learn to write sales letters and sales messages are all about, this whole concept of pain, agitation, solution. And a lot of you may have heard of that before in copywriting, and all that really is just essentially, speaking to the real pain points that hurt people, that cause you pain, and then agitating the heck out of it to where you're so agitated and so bothered by that pain that whatever they put in front of you to stop that bleeding is what you'll do. And you see, that may have worked in the 90s, but for some reason, a lot of people took that forward into this industry of people. You see, I can understand someone doing that. It's shady enough to do it with diet pills and stuff like that. And see, it's proven to work by the numbers in those niches. But you see, when you do it here with people, it's a different thing. Do you want to be following a leader that is always fear-mongering and talking about your pain and talking about your problems and judging you and telling you you're wrong and that you're going to lose this or lose that and fear this and scarcity this all the time? You'll never stick around. But you see, that's the prevailing mindset of these copywriters that come in with this ego that are like, I know how to convert you and I know how to convert people, so just let me write my sales letters and I'm going to recruit all these people and have them buy all this stuff. And guess what? They're gone in a month. And then you see these retention rates of 3% and people smile and hang their hat on that and say that's industry average. That's industry bullshit. What that really is a broken model. And what I would say is I replace the agitation with aspiration. And we'll actually illustrate how to do that inside the Epic Story funnel, along with value sets for people to understand where each person is coming from, and so you can speak to that person in a way that's life-enhancing, offering the solution. You see, this whole traditional way is why people don't believe in other people. Well, because you're fearing them and fear-mongering them into doing this, and so they have buyer's remorse like the next day. And they don't want to stick around when all you're doing is that type of stuff. But sadly, this is what's generally still accepted in the industry. And that's sad, and that's what we're here fundamentally to change. And now over the last couple of years, both of us having earned multiple six-figure incomes, going directly opposed to that, we've proven it works. Higher retention, and this type of marketing has such an upside, such higher possibilities, that it literally allowed me to get on a webinar with Amy's help and do $27,000 in a day and $36,000 over 3 days, and ultimately sell a seminar and a teaching curriculum that did $48,000 in total. And that's just from one thing, one real couple webinars. And then this same thing in our personal production. You see, it's a totally different shift in mindset. And so you see, no one was teaching this stuff. And so we had to actually take all of the industry-specific stuff and translate our higher ideals and our heart-based centered marketing and put that into a process that is life-enhancing for people. You see, that's what we've done, and that's why the Epic Story Funnel was born. So that's what I'm really present to, is that this message is changing the whole industry, and it's just in its infancy right now. Infancy. And we're just getting ready to take off, and so if you want to be a part of that, if you want to be at the start of that, that's this coming weekend in Colorado at the Omni Interlaken Hotel at Epic Story Academy, where we be
from today, not
a week from today,
not this weekend like tomorrow.
right? This coming next weekend.
And it's getting to be really beautiful spring weather here in Boulder. You should come hang out with us.
The weather's supposed to be great.
Well, and the Omni is like phenomenal. We had our last event there, and they have 2 fire pits and 2 pools and a hot tub. It's a golf course, mountain views. Like it's a resort. It's gorgeous. And the service is over the top. It's just going to be a really good time. So come hang out with us. Just let us know if you need more info.
We'll see you there.
Yep. Thanks, Chris, for your time.
Of course.
All right. Bye, everybody.